Welcome to the Explainer. So if you are out there building, scaling, or maybe just managing a SaaS business right now, you already know the landscape is, well, it's incredibly competitive. You've got to grow efficiently. And today, we're unpacking exactly how to do that by mastering product-led growth, or PLG for short. We're going to look at the exact strategies the heavy hitters use to turn their own products into their absolute most powerful growth engines.
But first, I want you to stop and think about your own business growth for a second. Is it truly sustainable? When we rely purely on traditional sales methods, we really risk burning out our sales teams with this bloated, super friction-heavy sales cycle. Sure, you might be getting new users, but if literally every single one of them requires a dedicated sales rep just to hold their hand, man, you are going to hit a wall, and fast.
And honestly, here's the hard data on why that wall is approaching faster than ever. According to ProfitWell, customer acquisition costs have skyrocketed by over 55% in just the last 5 years alone. I mean, advertising is way more expensive, the competition is absolutely fierce, and buyers, they're just exhausted by traditional sales pitches. This whole situation demands a massive shift in strategy if you want to actually survive and thrive.
So here's our quick playbook for today's explainer. We'll start with Welcome to PLG, then move into blending product and sales, checking out the PLG tech stack, debating freemium or free trial, getting SaaS pricing models explained, and finally, qualifying your best leads. Let's get to it. Section 1. Welcome to product-led growth. Okay, let's dive into this and define exactly what this transformative approach actually looks like. Let's contrast the old way with the new way. In a traditional sales-led growth model, your sales team is out there, right, hunting for leads, servicing demo requests, essentially doing all the heavy lifting to convince a prospect that the product is actually valuable. But in a product-led growth model, the product itself is the main vehicle for growth and retention. It's so intuitive, so valuable that users basically onboard and sell themselves on it before they ever even speak to a human being. It's a real game changer. So, why is this massive shift happening right now? Well, because SaaS businesses desperately need to find the Goldilocks of growth. Growth that is rapid, impressive, but entirely sustainable. Think about Zoom's explosive growth early in the pandemic, going from 10 million to 200 million daily meeting participants in just 3 months. If they were purely sales-led, it's estimated they would have needed over 130,000 salespeople just to handle that volume. No way, right? By letting the product do the initial onboarding, you overcome those rising acquisition costs, drastically speed up your sales cycles, and ultimately provide a way better user experience where people actually get to try before they buy. Section 2, blending product and sales. Now, moving to PLG definitely doesn't mean you're firing all your salespeople. Actually, scratch that. It's more about finding this highly realistic middle ground, which is product-led sales. And this brilliantly illustrates that point. Look at this data from PeerSignal on leading SaaS companies. These are massive, famous product-led success stories. But guess what? They still retain highly strategic, targeted sales teams. Zoom's workforce is 28% sales. Slack is at 20%. Shopify is at 8%. And Basecamp is at 4%. The sales team doesn't just disappear. Their role just evolves into something way, way more powerful. In a blended product-led sales model, your sales team finally stops wasting time on unqualified cold prospects. Instead, the product handles the small fish completely autonomously, while your actual sales team focuses their energy on the big fish. They focus on product-qualified leads for enterprise expansion, marketing-led leads who maybe just need a tiny bit of extra help converting, and highly targeted outbound leads to capture your absolute dream customers. It's just an incredibly efficient use of human talent. Section 3. The PLG tech stack. Okay, to make this blended model actually work in the real world, you need the right foundation. Look, you absolutely cannot run a product-led strategy if your data is locked away in isolated silos. You need a unified tech stack to view the entire customer journey in one single place. This means integrating your customer relationship management software, your CRM, with a customer data platform like Ordo, which is designed specifically for SaaS. Then you add in subscription management tools like Stripe and marketing automation to actually trigger messages based on what users are literally doing inside your product. Take a look at this verified review from Andy M., a head of marketing. He really hits the nail on the head regarding how crucial automation is here. By triggering tailored emails based on specific user behavior, you're essentially creating an automated, highly personalized onboarding assistant for every single self-serve user. You're guiding them straight to value without having to manually lift a finger. Section 4. freemium or free trial. Once your tech stack is hooked up and ready to measure and automate, we arrive at the next major crossroads in the playbook.
You basically have two paths here, and they both have distinct pros and cons. A freemium model gives users indefinite access to a limited version of your product. This casts a massive net and brings in a huge top-of-funnel audience, but it typically sees a lower conversion rate to paid, usually around 7%. On the flip side, a free trial gives limited time access to your full features. It creates a strong sense of urgency and boasts a median conversion rate of 14%. And a lot of successful companies actually use a hybrid approach, offering a free tier but actively nudging users to start a free trial of those premium features. If you're kind of torn on which way to go, use this checklist straight from the source material. Ask yourself, is your onboarding actually standardized? Will users experience an aha moment within, say, 7 to 14 days? Is your primary goal near-term revenue? If you're checking most of these boxes, for sure, a free trial is likely your best fit. If not, freemium might be the better way to build up that user base. Section 5, SaaS Pricing Models Explained. In a product-led growth model, your pricing page isn't just a boring list of numbers. It literally acts as your frontline negotiator. Now, what's really interesting about this is how companies like Ordo perfectly blend a freemium offering right alongside their paid tiers. A user can sign up for the free tier with zero friction, experience the platform, and immediately see exactly what they're going to get if they decide to pull the trigger on a 14-day trial of the campaign or professional tiers. It's completely transparent, which buyers absolutely love. Then we have the per-user pricing model. Think about Slack, which illustrates this beautifully. It's incredibly clear to the customer. You pay a set fee per person per month. The brilliance of this for a PLG company is that organic revenue grows seamlessly as your client's own business grows. As they hire more staff and add them to the workspace, your annual recurring revenue, or ARR, just automatically ticks up. And here's a look at tiered pricing, which is arguably the most popular model in the SaaS world. This matrix shows exactly what features, contacts, and engagement activities unlock at each specific price point. It gives a business immense flexibility to target completely distinct buyer personas, from a solo founder all the way to a massive enterprise, without needing a sales rep to jump on a call and explain the whole shebang. The product and the pricing page just do the heavy lifting together. Section 6, Qualifying Your Best Leads. All right, we have finally reached the ultimate climax of the PLG playbook. This is where we lock in the value of absolutely everything you've built so far. We do this by tracking the Product Qualified Lead, or PQL. Now, this is a user who hasn't just downloaded some white paper. They have actively used your product, experienced their specific aha moment, seen the value firsthand, and are totally primed to commit. So the crucial point is that in PLG, user actions speak far louder than words. So why we obsess over PQLs? Because the efficiency gains are absolutely massive. Think about it. When your sales team is only handed leads that have already validated the product themselves, those leads are vastly more likely to convert. They're less likely to churn because they already know how the tool works. Your customer acquisition cost drops, your average contract value goes up, and your sales cycle is drastically shortened. It's a win-win. Identifying a PQL really means mapping out the rapid progression of a user achieving value. For a scheduling tool, for instance, it's not just that the user signs up. It's that they sign up, they follow a prompt to create a specific task, and they successfully set a meeting with an external client. Boom. Once they complete step 3, they felt the magic. They are officially a PQL. I want to end on a question that really challenges everything we've talked about today. What is the specific aha moment in your product? What is that single, undeniable action a user takes where the light bulb goes on and they are just hooked for life? Because once you find that, you don't just have software anymore. You have a scalable, product-led growth engine. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to go find that moment in your own product today.